Brandon Whedon 0.
No, well, that's obvious.
All right, let's kind of go through the AFC North here. We'll talk to Matt Lodi, who's on this line. Hi, Matt. How are you from SteelersGab.com?
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you. And Garrett Downing, who's with the Ravens.com.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. All right, we're going to have a little conversation with the four of us. First of all, I want to start with Matt Lodi. Matt, I think seriously, after watching the Steelers yesterday, if they can get any defense, they've got a chance to run the table. What do you think?
Well, certainly that second quarter yesterday, they allowed 27 points, but it's amazing how the other three, they allowed 0. I think you're right, Andy, when it comes to that defense. They've either been very, very good or very, very bad, but when you've got Dick LeBeau running the show over there, I think that they do have the talent. It looks like anyway. They held Matthew Stafford to 35 yards in the second half. It certainly looks like they're a focused team. It looks like LeBeau got to them in the locker room yesterday, and a lot of those players stepped up. Give them credit in the second half yesterday. It wasn't pretty, but they got the job done in a game they absolutely just had to have.
All right, Matt Lodi joining us on the Wayside Furniture Skype DAWGS on the Run hotline, as is Garrett Downing. Garrett, give us the lowdown on the Ravens and what happened to them yesterday.
Yeah, well, it was a marathon game. It lasted about 5.5 hours. There was that 2-hour rain delay, severe weather delay, and the Ravens, even despite all that, they had an early lead, and then they came out a little flat out of the delay, and then once they got the ball back and they kind of got into a rhythm there, they had a lead, and they had a chance to win the game at the end of regulation. They drove all the way down the field on a 15-play drive at the end of regulation, had the ball on the 2-yard line for the Bears, had 3 shots from the 2, tried to run it twice, tried to throw it once, couldn't get the ball in the end zone, and then lost it in overtime. So they're 4-6 right now. The good news for the Ravens, if there is a sliver of hope, is they have 3 home games coming up here on the schedule, but it's not looking very good for the Ravens right now in terms of just getting back to the playoffs, and certainly not in the division race.
All right, well, let me put you on the spot then. Speaking of the division race, how does the division look in your mind at the end of the year from top to bottom?
I mean, I think it's the Bengals. I mean, they've got 2.5 up with, 6 games left, at least for the Ravens. So I think that the Bengals are certainly in the driver's seat. I mean, previously I thought that it may come down to that Week 17 matchup between the Ravens and the Bengals in Cincinnati. But right now the Bengals control their own destiny. They played a very top-heavy part of their schedule. So their schedule is easy in the first half of the season. Tough in the first half of the season. It's much easier in the second half of the season. So I think that if they can go ahead and play decent in this last half of the season, they're going to be sitting there at the top of the division, and they're going to be winning the division crown this year.
All right, Matt Lodi, your thoughts on what's going to happen here as the stretch run plays out in the AFC North?
Well, as far as the Steelers go, they've got the Browns twice. They've got the Bengals at home. They've got the Ravens on Thanksgiving night. I think right now it is the Bengals division. There's no question about it. But, as far as the other 3 spots, a lot of things can happen. And I think, the Steelers have shown that if they can kind of get on a roll a little bit, and again, I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen, but they're playing this thing, guys, one game at a time. And I think that's what you got to do now, winning 2 in a row. Beating Buffalo and then beating the Lions yesterday. Now they go to Cleveland with the ability and the talent right now. If they can win in Cleveland on Sunday, all of a sudden at 5-6, people are going to start talking about them again. Not so much maybe as a division contender, but as a wild card contender. If the Bengals don't win this division this year, then something's wrong because, like Garrett said, they've got the 2.5-game lead with 6 to go. Clearly, it looks like it's their division, guys.
All right, Garrett, look, what do the Ravens need to do to kind of turn things around? Because I think all 3 teams, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Steelers, are all in the same spot right now. I don't think there's any question. It's mediocre football at best for all 3 teams. One team some week looks like they have the edge. The next week it's another team. What do the Ravens need to do down the stretch?
I think it really is just winning close games. I mean, so much of the season has been talking about the running game. Well, that wasn't an issue yesterday. Ray Rice had his best game of the season, ran the ball for 130 yards, got a touchdown. It was clearly his best game of the season. So throw the running game out. That's not the main issue. I think it's just winning these close games. In all of the close games that they've lost, there's been something different. In Buffalo, Flacco threw 5 interceptions. Yesterday, he threw 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. That's got to stop. You can't turn the ball over that many times, especially on the road, and expect to win games and not close games. Last year, they were winning those close games. They were converting on 4th and 29 in San Diego. They were beating the Patriots, at home with a late field goal. This year, they're not winning those close games, and that's been the biggest difference. If you're a good team, the margin of error is so thin in the NFL. All these teams are pretty much equally talented. You've got to win those close games, and it's maybe 4 or 5 plays every game that decides it and really decides your season, and those aren't going the Ravens' way at all this year.
All right, Garrett, thank you. Do you ever get freaked out that Ray Lewis is looking over your shoulder all the time in that office?
I don't really see it. It's always kind of there, but it's to my back. All I want to know is what do I got to do to get a T-shirt? You guys are handing away T-shirts like candy over there.
Here, why don't you ask your former intern? Tell him. Can he have a T-shirt?
Roommate?
A roommate? Did you guys live together?
Yeah, my old roommate right there.
Oh, no.
You
wait,
can see that one there.
even worse.
Oh.
This show is about to take a drastic turn. One story. Give us one story about Eric the referee. Quick.
Wait, you said the sports director or the referee? I will
No.
plead the fifth. I'm not getting into that conversation.
No, you got to give us one story when you guys lived together.
Oh. I don't know. It was a short time. I was only there for a few months, and then I ended up coming out here. I wish I had something good. Nothing on the spot that I can think of that's really entertaining.
All right.
Well, that sums up
I'm
his life
clean.
anyway.
Well, hang on. Let's
clean.
see how this goes. Eric, you have anything on him?
Garrett's crystal clean. He's a Bible. He's a
Oh,
Bible.
my goodness. These guys are lame. Okay. Bye, Garrett. We'll talk to you next week. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Lodi, I don't have any stories because I never lived with you, so life is good in that aspect. What do the Steelers need to do down the stretch to be relevant? Because I think after yesterday's game, Pittsburgh very much has a heartbeat.
I think it's the defensive lapses. I think we saw it in New England. I think we saw it in the second quarter yesterday. And I think it's turnovers like Garrett was talking about with the Ravens. You know, again, the Browns this upcoming week, it's going to be an emotional game. You know the Browns are going to come out, and they're going to be ready to go. If the Steelers can come out and play fundamental sound football, not turn the ball over, and as I said, not give up the ball, I think they got a good opportunity to beat Jason Campbell, Brandon Weeden, or whoever's the quarterback Sunday.
All right, Matt, thank you. And we just want you to know you will be going to heaven because you have a picture of your parents behind you. Right?
I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Very nice picture.
See, all right, good. All right.
See you, buddy.
See, we can be nice, can't we? We can be nice every once
Guys,
in a
his
while.
mom and dad behind him. You know what I'm
That's
saying
true.
about
All
that.
right, to the phone lines we go. Pride of Cleveland Heights. We talked to Mark, who's actually in Washington, D.C. Hi, Mark.
How you guys doing?
What's up, man?
I'm doing well.
Your Tigers got crushed on
So did
Saturday
our-
night. Sorry.
Yeah, both those things were a disaster.
Yes, they
Yeah, they were.
All right, what'd you think of the Browns?
That was hideous. That was just awful. But, you know, I tend to think that it was a bit – I fall on that it was a bit fluky scale. You know, that second quarter was just – I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And so I can't extrapolate any further than just yesterday with that game. The only thing I would say is that, I look at Campbell – and that, I didn't expect him to play that badly, but that is a little bit more of what I would think his play would be. I think what we saw the two previous games were really inflated.
All right, Mark, I'm sure we'll be talking to you on the radio and watching you on Twitter, too. So, Mark, thank you, and we truly thank you for calling in today. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
All right, Mark, good job. First
Truly,
time.
thank you.
Truly, thank you. You know
Truly,
why?
thank you.
I keep saying appreciate, and it's like one of those.
So
no,
truly, thank you. Took care
I
of. Appreciate.
truly thank.
Truly,
Thank you, Mark. We
Truly.
truly appreciate you. You know what else we truly appreciate? He is the dog, Tubby. Hi, the dog, Tubby.
What's up, fellas? What's happening?
Oh, man. I think we're just bummed out. We're bummed out about what happened yesterday. I thought this was an opportunity for the Browns to be able to, kind of say, look, NFL, we're back. We're here. You can't ignore us anymore. And they self-destructed on special teams, and then everything blew up around it.
Right. It was really weird because it was kind of like, you go to the bar and you start talking to this hot chick and you're actually making time with her. Like she seems like she's into you. And then you end up leaving a bar together and you get her home and you realize her Schwartz is bigger than yours. That's how that game went.
I was wondering where that was going. I was
Yeah.
trying to follow the trail of that conversation. It was pretty bad.
I tried to breadcrumb it out for you. I thought I was doing okay.
You did a good job. I just thought you kept it unbelievably clean for you.
Yeah.
Well, screw it. What the hell?
And then did you say Schwartz or Schwantz?
Schwartz.
Okay.
I thought you said Schwartz.
I thought he said Schwartz,
I
too.
thought you went Spaceballs on us.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. I didn't know.
It was
how hip
Schwartz
you
and
guys were.
Spaceballs, not Schwantz.
It was Schwartz in Spaceballs.
It was your Schwartz. May the
Yeah, it was
Schwartz
Schwartz.
be
Yeah,
with
may the Schwartz be with you.
May
Yep,
the Mitchell
exactly.
Schwartz be with you. Yeah.
Well, enough of that. We have a Schwartz on the offensive line. So let's talk about the game to come up, too. How you feeling about the game coming up against the Steelers this week? Because, obviously, for every Browns fan, this is their Super Bowl. This is their playoff game. This is their bowl game, whatever you want to say.
Right. We're coming over there. I'm coming over. I got, since I live here in PA, the majority of my friends, and I use the term loosely, are fans of that team, and so they're coming over with me to the game. And if anything at all, can we please, for the love of God, just friggin' win this game? I don't care if you got to activate people off the practice squad and have them come out there and Nancy Kerrigan half of the freaking Steelers offensive line. I don't give a shit. Just something. Go out there and just beat their ass and leave them bloody and broken. That's all I need to see. And hopefully I'll be sober enough to remember it, although I highly doubt it.
And
So
hopefully you'll get to Angry Browns fan will get you in the parking lot before too, so you can we can get you on that as well next week.
Oh yeah, I'll be over in the Burke, so he can come find me there. That's where we park at. We'll be in the Burke in the back part by the air. The Air Force has a big static display of a fighter jet back there. We'll be back there in that back corner. So anybody want to stop by, say, hey, I seen you, Tubby. You do that funny dance. Feel free to stop by, have a beer, have some steak.
You make steak?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I do 2 big. They're called a pot roast, but it's basically just a giant cut of steak.
Wow.
And I season it up, throw it on the grill for like an hour and a half.
I think everybody's coming over from this.
Yeah, I think our whole station's coming over to hang with you. Is that all right?
Right on. Then bring more beer.
All right, fair enough. Hey, I'm just curious. Our last question, because it's always an important question when you ask you the last question. Is that duct tape or Scotch tape that's holding up the bandana in the back?
With the bandana? I don't know. Probably duck. I don't know.
It's duct tape.
Yeah.
And
and for Kate, just so she can get her blues away. Here's a Tubby Dance for Kate and everybody else. Tubby Dance the blues away. If not, drink more. You'll forget about it by the morning.
all right, and our last question for you. We have a little bet here that there are dishes in the sink. Can you move the camera? Dishes in the sink, yes or no?
Yeah.
Isn't
Sure.
the sink on the other side?
No.
I thought you had a sink on the other side.
No.
No, you're in an office?
It's a washer
Yeah.
dryer.
No. This is just like a junk. I got junk.
Yeah,
There's
this
like
is
computer
junk room.
parts,
Oh, it's
a
a
printer,
junk room. All
a
right.
telescope, a jacket.
All right.
Auditors.
You've got a T-shirt on your way for just being a friend of the show. Congratulations.
Awesome. A family 6 will be able to camp out and have a home. Thanks.
You're the best, man. You make my Mondays. I gotta tell you that.
All
Win
right,
or
Tubby,
lose, you
Tubby
make my
Dance
Mondays,
out.
man.
Tubby Dance out.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, here we go. I can't believe we've already reached that time. It's time for
Final thoughts.
Final Thoughts. Mike Cairns.
Well, this game's already behind me. It was a horrible football game. They played terrible. You got to turn your thoughts to the Steelers coming to town. You got a chance to not only beat your arch rival, but to take that bad taste out of your mouth from Cincinnati. Yes, it was a horrible game. They did a lot of things bad. You get past it today. Start focusing on Pittsburgh. That's what I'm going to do.
I just don't think the season's completely over. I think the North is down. I think someone's going to sneak in to the wild card spot with a not-so-good record, maybe 9 wins if it's possible. I still think Cincinnati's got a lot in front of it. Andy Dalton is not impressive as a quarterback, and if their special teams and defense falter just a little, Cincinnati's going to slip again, and I can see it coming. All right, that's it for this edition of Dogs on the Run. Eric, say goodbye. Thank you. Nice job today. Probably your best show. Today was probably his best show. Yellow flag right at us. My final thought is, again, I just think that you just got to let it go. I think you got to let it go, too. Next week, Dogs on the Run. Make sure you tell your friends about it. We'll be giving away more T-shirts if I didn't give them all away today. And then
Actually, we didn't give these 2 away.
If you missed anything on the show today, it's always running on newsnet5.com. Give out the phone number to your friends next week. And don't forget, you can listen to the show driving in. I didn't even talk about that this week, so tell your friends about that. Use your USB, use your Bluetooth, whatever. 216-431-3820. Remember it throughout the week, and then call us again next week. That is Dogs on the Run.
Peace.